Hey VC, it's Jonathan, your cheap and cheerful record collector. I hope everybody's doing well, had a great holiday season, not too stressed out, and had a good time. All right, it's a turn of the sea year, going into the start of 2024, and it's time for the Vinyl Tag 2024. I want to thank Rob Walker, our friend over there in Manchester, England, who put this list together. Did a great job, really, some great questions there. If you're new to the VC, the Vinyl Tag is usually done the first of the year. 20 questions about your collection. A great way to get to know all the different people in the VC, what they like, what they collect. If you're new to the VC and you've never made a video, you've just been watching, it's a great way to dip your toe in and start making videos. Yeah, if you're new, just jump in there. Turn on your camera, your cell phone or whatever, set it up, and just start talking. All right. Got a lot of questions here, so let's get on it. First one, favorite record purchased in 2023. So this is not from 2023. This is from a number of years ago, but I've wanted it on vinyl for quite a while, and I was so happy to find a nice new repress of it. And it's Justin Townes Earle. This is Harlem River Blues. Fantastic album. It's not a bad. So Harlem River Blues, One More Night in Brooklyn, Wandering, Working for the MTA, Slipping and Sliding, Christchurch Woman. Just a great album. Unfortunately, we lost Justin Townes Earle a number of years ago. OD'd on drugs, I guess, heroin, whatever. This is a clear vinyl. And like I said before, I don't care about colored vinyl or whatever, but this was the only way this was available as a repress. Originals are really expensive and really hard to find, so I was happy to find a new one. My favorite purchase of the year, there were so many, but this is one I just grabbed. Justin Townes Earle. Harlem River Blues. Last purchase of 2023. I got this 2 days ago. Just came in the mail. Another older record. This is from 68, I think it was. And I have a bunch of his and wanted this for a long time now. And I'm glad to be able to bring it back into the collection. And it's Magic Sam and his album Black Magic on the Delmark label. There's the Delmark label. With Eddie Shaw, Lafayette Leak, Mighty Joe Young, etc. If you don't know Magic Sam, he was a blues man, but is very soulful, a lot of funk in it, not straight blues, real city blues. He's from the Detroit area, as far as I remember. He died in 1969, but put out a number of records. West Side Soul was another one, which I have, and Black Magic, which I've been looking for a while. So a great record. Really glad to add that to the collection. Number 3, a band or singer who released 2 or more albums in the same year. Well, that would be one of my favorites again is Warren Zevon. And this is his album, Bad Luck Streak in Dancing School. And the same year, he put out the live album, Stand in the Fire. This was a live album recorded at the Roxy. These are both put out in 1980. Ba bing, bada boom, there you go. Warren Zevon. 2 albums, 1 year. If you could only listen to the music from 1 decade, which would you choose? I'm old. I was born in 49. I was raised in the 50s and 60s. It's got to be the 1960s. I can't imagine a decade of music that was able to produce Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced? John Coltrane, A Love Supreme. Muddy Waters Folk Singer. Bob Dylan, Blonde on Blonde. Otis Redding, Pain in My Heart. And Frank Sinatra, At the Sands with Count Basie. Any decade that can put out records like that all in the same decade, I don't see anything equals it. Though to me, that's where it's at. Got to be the 60s. Show a record or a band or a singer from Manchester. Everybody's been showing the same band because I don't have many from Manchester, but I do have the Hollies. So glad to have this and be able to show the Hollies from Manchester. Which band or singer did you listen to the most in 2023? Hard to say, but my guess would be Lee Morgan, jazz trumpet player. This is his album Cornbread. I also have Search for New Land, Rump Roller, Sidewinder, a lot of different Lee Morgan albums, but fantastic. This is a Blue Note Tone Poet, the beautiful series they have out. Beautiful job. This particular one is Lee Morgan, Jackie McLean, Hank Mobley, Herbie Hancock, etc. So yeah, I think I listened to more of Lee Morgan this year than anybody else. Show 7 inches. I do not collect 7-inch records. I do not have one 7-inch in my collection. It's a rabbit hole I don't want to go down. But in lieu of that, I'll show some 10-inch records. I got a couple of 10 inches I'll show. First one is Pokey LaFarge. I love Pokey. This is Ride in the Streets and Better Than Me on Rounder. Pretty cool. How about Joe Jackson? Look Sharp. 2 10-inch records, the same as the album. Used to have a button here that says Look Sharp, but it was gone by the time I got this. This is great, great. You all know this album. Joe Jackson on 10-inch, Look Sharp. Miles Davis on Blue Note. 10-inch record. This is Enigma and Kilo on one side and Chance It. 2 different takes on side 2. How about Jackie Lee Jones, Girl at Her Volcano. Ricky Lee Jones, and Steve Earle, 10-inch. Steve Earle doing Terraplane. There's a Record Store Day release. Steve Earle doing Terraplane Blues, and on the flip side, we have Robert Johnson doing Terraplane Blues. That's a cool 10-inch. And last but not least, how about the Lovin' Spoonful on 10-inch? Never saw that before, so I grabbed it when I saw it. They do 8 songs on here. The Best in the West, Daydream, Did You Ever Believe in Do You Ever Have to Make Up Your Mind, Darling Be Home Soon, Summer in the City, Do You Believe in Magic, You Didn't Have to Be So Nice, etc. The Lovin' Spoonful on 10-inch. So there. No 7 inches, but 10 inches. Who's coming to your party? Choose 4 people they bring to a dinner party they'd like to see all hanging out together. Well, first off, without a doubt, I would start with Frank Zappa. Got to bring Frank back for a dinner party. And along with Frank, I'd bring back Bob Marley. Love to see the 2 of them sitting around talking music. And while you're at it, we got to have some blues in there. So I got to have the great Howlin' Wolf. And last but certainly not least, my favorite musician of all time, Thelonious Monk. So I think Zappa, Monk, Bob Marley, and Howlin' Wolf would be a great dinner party. Love to hang out with those guys. We lost them this year. Choose one musician who passed away. Tina Turner, the great Tina Turner. This is her album Live at Carnegie Hall. What you hear is what you get. Ike and Tina. Fantastic album. One of the greats. She did it her way. Tina Turner. Imagine you can only listen to music from one country. Which country would you choose? Well, again, I got to pick the United States. I mean, you got jazz started out here, Louis Armstrong, all the way up to today. You got blues, Robert Johnson, Son House, Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, etc. You got the blues, you got rock and roll, all the West Coast people, the East Coast, Velvet Underground, etc., etc. I mean, I do love England, and I do love some of the 60s stuff from England, a lot of stuff from England. But for overall, you can't, no other country can compete with the depth of music styles and greatness of the United States. So that's got to be the United States for music, without a doubt. Name 3 vinyl community channels you discovered in 2023. All right. All the World's a Stage. Everybody must know them by now. He has 640 subscribers. I can't believe it's that low. I figured he should be well into the thousands. Another one is Breton Vinyl Corner. He's from France. He does a lot of music from Brittany. So very interesting. Nice channel. He has only 352 subscribers. He should have a lot more. And the last one is Doug Anderson. Just discovered him recently. He's very small, only 200 subscribers so far. So definitely check these people out if you don't know them. All the World's a Stage, Breton, B-R-E-T-O-N, Vinyl Corner, and Doug Anderson. Check those three guys out. Show a record you bought when you were a teenager. Well, it's not the exact copy, but it is the same record. And it's the Yardbirds, Over, Under, Sideways, Down, Backwards, Forwards, Square and Round. Had this when I was a teenager, back in the early, mid-60s. I could have picked a lot of records, but I just grabbed this one because it's so great and love this record. Next one. Show a funk or soul record. All right. This is jazz, but it's funk, and it's some of the funkiest stuff I've ever heard. And not what you would expect, but it's Grant Green, who's a jazz guitar player. It's a 2-record set. The first record is more what you would expect from Grant Green, more smooth jazz. But the side C and D, 3 and 4, is some of the funkiest stuff I've ever heard. Unbelievable. Well, look at him there. This was recorded live in 1975. Recorded at Oil Can Harry's in Vancouver on September 5th, 1975. It's unbelievable. Fantastic funk album. Show a record you think everyone has, and then show a record you think nobody has. Well, I assume everybody has Sgt. Pepper's, and I can't imagine that anybody else has it. Somebody must have it somewhere, because they printed more than one. Is a band called the Central Park Sheiks, and this is on Rounder Records from 1976. Sort of gypsy jazz. There they are in Central Park, hanging out in the Great Lawn. I had this when it first came out in 1976. I was living in New York City. Loved this album then, and it still holds up. Just great, great stuff. The Central Park Sheiks. If anybody has it, I'd love to hear if anybody does have that. She's Great, a record by a female artist you bought in 2023. Picked this up not that long ago, about last month, and it's a Rory Block. And this is her album, Rhinestones and Steel Strings. Rory sort of reminds me of Bonnie Raitt, but more bluesy and not nearly as commercial. Great guitar player, great singer. Really enjoy her stuff. Rory Block. The favorite video you posted on your channel in 2023 had to be the one where I scored this huge collection, and I showed that video, and everybody seemed to really enjoy seeing all this great stuff I picked up at bargain prices. And a favorite video you watched? I don't know. I watched so many I can't even think of one. Show me a record you describe as a 90s classic. In the 90s, I was already, married, divorced, remarried. I was 45 years old already in the 90s, and 50 years old. I wasn't buying a lot of new stuff, but I did love this guy, and I did love this record. And it's Jonathan Richman, I, Jonathan, which came out in 92. This is a record store day repress of it, but great, great record. Jonathan Richman in 92. I, Jonathan. If you could walk into the cover, look through your collection, choose a record cover you'd like to be part of. Well, I was part of it, and I wouldn't mind going back to be part of it yet again. And that is Woodstock. I was there in '69. I've told the story before. A bunch of friends and I bought the beat-up church bus, painted it up and drove it to Woodstock. And yeah, if I could jump back into that and be part of that group again, part of that scene again, I would do it in a second. Yeah, I would go back to Woodstock. Not a problem. It's like a greatest hits album. Sure, a record you're so familiar with that it feels like a greatest hits album. And for me, obvious choice for me was Paul Simon and his album, There Goes Rhymin' Simon. I mean, on this album, you have Kodachrome, Tenderness, Take Me to the Mardi Gras, Something So Right, One Man's Ceiling is Another Man's Floor, American Tune, Was a Sunny Day, Learn How to Fall, St. Judy's Comet, Loves Me Like a Rock. I mean, every single song is a greatest hit song. So for me, this would be an album that could be a greatest hits album. Paul Simon. There Goes Rhymin' Simon. And number 20, show me an album that was released in 1974, 50 years since 74, and I had to do one of my favorites of all time is the great Tom Waits and his album Saturday Night, the heart of Saturday Night. And of course, this has New Coat of Paint, Semi-Sweet, Shiver Me Timbers, Diamonds on My Windshield, The Heart of Saturday Night, Drunk on the Moon, just fantastic album. If you're not into the newer Tom Waits, I would definitely urge you to check out the older Tom Waits. So, fantastic stuff. Number 20, Tom Waits, The Heart of Saturday Night. And that's the 20 questions. So again, I want to thank Rob for getting the list together and putting it out there. I want to thank all my new subscribers. I got a bunch of new ones recently, and I really appreciate it. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would appreciate it if you just hit that button and subscribe. I want to see a lot of people doing the vinyl tag. Like I said, it's a great way to see everybody's collection and see what they have, see what they are into. Okay? Until next time, peace. Oh, and Happy New Year.